Hello, everyone, and join me here for the live reaction to UFC 295, and just post-fight reaction, rather. And we just watched it on the other stream. I'm not going to go in any particular order because I think that the card today was one of the best cards I've seen in a long, long time. I'll talk real quick. First, there was all stoppages, nothing but stoppages. Right. And I'll just talk a little bit about the fights as I saw. I'm just talking about the main event. There's nothing but stoppages. Diego Lopez, to me, looks like a future contender at middleweight. At middleweight. He looks like a future contender to me at featherweight. Who to make him next with? I don't know. What suggestions do you guys have for Diego Lopez? Let's have a look at the rankings and see what we have here for each division. So if we look at the featherweights, obviously we have Volkanovski at number 1. I don't know, who do we do? Like, you have Alex Caceres at 15 versus Lerone Murphy at 14, Dan Ige at 13, Sadiq Youssef at 12. Man, I'm happy with him against any of those guys. I'm happy with him against any of those guys because Diego Lopez, to me, looks the goods. You know, his loss against Movsar Evliov has aged really well indeed. So I'm really pumped to see the future for Diego Lopez. Moving up the card for Benoit Saint Denis, I see against Matt Frivola, he wants to fight a Gaethje or Poirier. I think he called out one of those guys after the card. And if he can jump the rankings like that, then good for him. But yeah, I'd like to see him fight at lightweight. I would like to see him fight. I mean, he beat Matt Frivola. Could he fight Moicano? Could he fight Bobby Green? Or Bobby Green's fighting Dan Hooker. But see, I think those fights would be really good to see him fight, like a Dan Hooker or a Bobby Green or a Jalen Turner. Rafael Dos Anjos is getting a bit old, a bit long in tooths. But any of those fights would be really good to bring him along slowly. He's a young man, you know. So I'm not. Yeah, Turner, says Kenny, 100%. I do think that Jalen Turner would be a good fight. Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. I don't know exactly who she could fight next because she's fought. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You guys tell me who you think they should fight. Tom Aspinall. Well, he gets Jones next, doesn't he? If Jones is gonna fight, then fuck Jones, you know. And I'm a big fan of what's his name, Pavlovic, you know. So I want to see him fight someone. I want to see him fight some sort of monster as well. But I don't know. Sergey Pavlovic, he did a good account of himself. I don't know what's going to happen with Miocic. Is he going to fight Jones? Is Pavlovic going to fight Cyril Gane? That would be a good fight to make. But yeah, I thought that the hands would be a little bit fast from Aspinall, and he was going to be able to get Pavlovic out of there. And then we talk about Pereira versus Jiri. That fight was one of the most incredible things I've seen. Not just incredible in terms of the fight itself, but incredible in terms of what this means, like what you witnessed, man. You witness a guy win the middleweight Glory World title. Then you witness him win the Glory light heavyweight title. Then you witness him come over to UFC and win the UFC middleweight belt. But he doesn't just win the UFC middleweight belt. He gets 2 fights in the UFC and then fights nothing but champions or former champions or champions to be. So he's got a knockout win over Israel Adesanya, and he's got a knockout win over the current champion, Sean Strickland. Then he went up and fought the former champion in Jan Blachowicz, beat him. Then he went up and fought the former champion in Jiri, that is for the belt, and knocked him out. And he's now the light heavyweight champion of the world. He has won. I don't know what's left for him to do. Does he go up to heavyweight? Does he take a year off and go up to heavyweight and try and win 3 belts? That would be interesting. Or does he just stop with the MMA stuff and just go, what's left? There's combat sambo, judo, wrestling, and BJJ. I'll just do all of them and win a belt in everything. I really don't know, because that feat of his, I don't know if it'll ever be repeated. The closest thing I can say to that is Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo won an Olympic gold medal and then comes over to the UFC and wins 2 belts. It's hard to go past an Olympic gold medal, but 2 belts in glory and 2 belts in the UFC puts you at least at the same level as an Olympic gold medal, my opinion. Kenny says, Turner, yeah, I think that'd be a great fight for him. Kenny says, Turner and Moicano are sitting out right now. Joseph says, now would be a great time for Izzy to return and go after Pereira's title. Laugh out loud. It could be. It could be. That'd make for a really interesting fight. That'd make for a really, really interesting fight. Madara says, Aspinall's hands are too quick for anyone in this division. He's got fast hands, man. He's got very, very, very fast hands. That's the one thing that I thought would set him apart. Kenny says, they said John Jones' injury will be a year recovery plus the Stipe fight. Yeah, I don't think that fight's going to happen, man. I really don't. And if he's going to be out for a year and Stipe can't wait that long, it'll be Stipe fighting Aspinall, which I think Aspinall wins. Madara says, how does Saint Denis fare versus Islam? I haven't seen enough of him, to be honest with you. Like, he looks the goods, but like I said, I'd like to see him fight, someone else, like a Turner or a Hooker or someone first, to see how he does. These are perennial, not contenders necessarily, but definitely perennial top 10 fighters. Like, Dan Hooker is a staple in the top 10, top 5 even at times. And he definitely is the guy that, if you want to say, how good am I in that lightweight division? Fuck, Dan Hooker's your man. He'll be your huckleberry. Aspinall is, Kenny says, Aspinall's not going to wait over a year. He should fight Cyril. He's not going to wait over a year. No way. Madara says, were you surprised Tom Aspinall took Sergey's big shots? I am perplexed that he took those shots. I am confused. I'm bewildered. That's really, really crazy. Cooper Marion says, Jerry acknowledged he was out and the stoppage was fine, and I generally agree. Well, you can't. If the guy's telling you he was out and you're going, no, they should have continued it, you're sadistic, masochist, crazy motherfucker. You can't say that. You know what I mean? I thought it was done. Ofon says, crazy how good Jones was in an era when many people were just brawlers with some skill. Yeah, but the guys he beat weren't just some brawlers with skill. Like, the guys he beat makes him even better. You know what I mean? Like, some of the guys he beat were fantastic, really, really amazing fighters. Cooper Marion says 1 glory belt equals 5 Olympic medals. If you understand, man, what you have to do to even compete at the Olympics, it's not, because you can compete. This is the difference. So you can compete. I'm talking about Olympic freestyle wrestling or boxing, for example. You can compete at glory, right? Like, you could win a couple of regional tournaments or something and qualify and go, or you could even get a call up to be like a fill-in, to come and be cannon fodder. But that doesn't happen in the Olympics. If you want to wrestle, I don't know what the thing is right now, but before, say in 2010, if you wanted to compete for Australia in wrestling, Australia is not a wrestle-heavy country. It's not a wrestle-heavy country. If you wanted to compete for Australia in wrestling, you had to win nationals, right? This is Australia we're talking about. This is not the US or fucking Russia or one of these crazy wrestling countries. You have to win at that time. I don't know what it is today, but I can tell you this firsthand. Circa 2010 or something like 2011 for the 2012 Olympics. You had to win nationals, right? And you still get some decent guys. Then you had to win Oceania. And generally, if you win nationals in Australia, you're going to win Oceanias. But you have to win Oceanias. And then the winner from that has to go and compete in Africa, and you have to place in the top 2. And that means, like, again, are they wrestle powerhouses? Not necessarily, but you still have like Tunisia, Algeria, South Africa, Nigeria, Senegal. You still have some tough wrestling countries out there. You have to place in the top 2 there. And then you get to go. You know what I mean? It's not, that's from, and then you'll go and you probably won't win a round. You probably won't win a match at the Olympics. And that those guys from Australian wrestling that get that far will smoke a lot of people in wrestling that you think are really, really good. Like that guy to go that far is a good wrestler, really good wrestler, but not world class, not top of the fucking food chain wrestlers. So to win an Olympic gold medal, dude, it's different level, dude. It's a different level. Let me see. Kenny says Alex just called how Izzy in his post-fight speech. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. That fight will and to call Izzy out is a big one because Izzy knocked him out. That fight will be crazy. It will be massive. It'll be huge. Ofon says, I can't help but think Alexander Rakic will give the champ some trouble if it makes it through January. Any of those guys at the top in the light heavyweight division are going to give anyone a run. You know, Rakic will give him a run, but I just think that Alex is smart, man, how he does it. How he did that fight was really good. Israel's tough too, man. Israel's very, very tough. So I don't know. I don't know how this will go. And I think Israel's going to have to take it because, like, he's just given Israel a shot at the belt. You know what I mean? He's given Israel a shot at the belt. As a fight fan coach, remove the entertainment aspect of it. Who would you like Poatan's fight next? I mean, the Israel fight's always there. You know, the Israel fight's always a really exciting fight, you know, just because of this, the level of kickboxing that's on display there. It's a really, really interesting fight from those two guys. So that's always going to be an interesting fight. Jamal Hill is an enigma in himself. So there's a few of those fights there. That's pretty crazy. SG says Guru had an eerily accurate prediction for the main event. He predicted Alex's second round TKO of Jiri after chewing up his lead leg. I have to agree, man. I have to agree with that though. Madara says the Weasel called this fight perfectly. The thing is, man, it's like I said the same thing in that if he does the damage, he's going to, outside of Jiri catching him, it's going to be Alex winning that. That's what I thought as well. Madara says, I always felt like Jiri reckless striking and not guarding his own defense will be his own downfall. Yeah, but it wasn't Jiri making a mistake, dude. It wasn't like he was, oh, shit. It was just like, with the skills that they have, he did the right things. He just wasn't able to put Alex away. Ofon says, I thought Poatan was going to flying knee him or switch knee him to counter a lunging takedown after the leg kick stuff. Yeah, I can't say, man. I thought they both did really well, you know. I thought they both did really well. Ofon says, yes, but he still had a decent showing. I thought he had a fantastic showing. Like, I mean, he was winning the fight. These guys hit hard. Cooper Marion says, I meant one glory belt is equal to half of an Olympic medal, not 5. Oh, I see. Because I was going to say, no, man, maybe. Like, that's probably pretty accurate. Like a gold, that's the weight I put to an Olympic gold medal. Some people will see it differently. You know what I mean? I just know that an Olympic gold medal it's like really, really hard to get. Madara says, at Madara Chiha, meaning he didn't wind it up. No, he didn't wind up the shots. Madara says, were you surprised Sergey wasn't able to take Tom's shots, or is that just the reality of heavyweight fights? It's a reality of heavyweight fights, and he punches fast, man. I can't explain that. SG says, Alex calling out Izzy is clear that Alex has a degree in finance. Yes. Manny says, how do you think he'll do against Rakic? I think it'll be similar to this fight. I just think that Rakic and him will trade leg kicks, and that's Rakic's jam as well. I just think that he's a better than Rakic at doing it, and Rakic will win the early rounds, and Pereira will do more damage than what it looks like he's doing, like he did to Jiri, like he did to Israel in both fights. Even the second fight when he lost to Israel, he was damaging Israel. He was hurting Israel. If that fight had continued, I can't say he would have won because Israel, you got to respect what Israel did. And he countered him. Israel countered him in this fight, and he didn't capitulate the space. So he did a very, very good job, but he was getting hurt in that fight. Madara says, how do you view Tom versus Jones or Miocic if they fight? I feel like he's too fast for Stipe, but Jones is a whole different animal. I think Miocic's days are a little bit past. I'm going to say that. I think his hands are faster than Jones, and I think he can land on Jones. And a true heavyweight with fast hands that can knock out a monster like Pavlovic is a different animal. He could definitely knock Jones out. I do believe this. But Jones is a monster as well, and the way he ragdolled Cyril was scary. Ofon says, Adesanya won't fight Poatan if he's not the champ, though. And they have so much history. Now he'll fight him. That'll be Israel's ticket to getting a light heavyweight belt. You know what I mean? Kenny says, do we really want to see Izzy versus Alex for a fifth time, though? The thing is, man, it'll sell. And that's all that matters. Madara says, what do you make of Mackenzie Dern not using grappling despite the difference in jiu-jitsu? Does Dern need better takedowns? And is she a prime example of fighters with great BJJ but poor wrestling? Man, I honestly don't want to get into it because I'm not lying to you, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude, but I just don't watch a lot of women's MMA. And it's hard to get in on takedowns anyway. It's not that easy to take someone down, and it's not that easy to take down someone that's chopping up your leg the way Andrade was. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that was the problem in and of itself. Ofon says, and Adesanya would have a chance to become a 2-weight division champ in the UFC again. Yeah, 100%. B. Johnson says, it's got to be the best leg kicks we've seen in MMA. Yes. Madara Chiha says, is the Aspinall and Sergey exchanges on the feet the prime example of straight punches beating looping punches? No, not necessarily, man, because you got to understand, Aspinall took the shots and he was like, you could see it affected him. And he was even like pushing his hands down and his head going back in those exchanges. It was just more that Aspinall was able to regather, dude, because the guy that landed the big heavy shots first was Pavlovic. And Aspinall was able to regather and got back in the pocket, man. I like that exchange that happened there is insane because he got hurt. He got rocked. You could see it, and then he bit down, regathered himself, and landed the shots and knocked Pavlovic out. This is a big thing to do. This is not a small thing to do. Ofon says, B. Johnson, one of those calf kicks from Poatan will leave me in a wheelchair for life. 100%. Manny, you have to finish your sentences, man. I don't know what you're writing. B. Johnson says, Hill being a southpaw is already going to help in that fight with Alex. It's not so much the southpaw that's going to help, dude, because he's fought a lot of different fighters, like a lot of stand-up heavy fighters, and Jamal Hill is definitely a stand-up fighter. But Jamal Hill's like size and length, like when I saw Jiri in there, Jiri looked like a bit thicker guy against Alex. Like Alex whilst it's not the best, can make middleweight. Jiri can't make middleweight. Jamal Hill cannot make middleweight. You know what I mean? Jamal Hill's a very, very athletic guy, man. I don't know if you've seen him play basketball. He can like really play. He can really move. Not many light heavyweight guys can move the way Jamal Hill can move. This is something that's a massive weapon as you get up in those divisions. Like he can really move. B. Johnson says, if you're orthodox, you get fucked over instantly by those calf kicks. I don't know if you saw when Jiri switched to southpaw. If you saw this in the fight, just watch this fight again. Jiri switches to southpaw and Alex just throws that with no toe, just throws the right high kick, straight, boom, just throws it up. And you could tell that Jiri, like it hit him. It hit Jiri. And Jiri wasn't that comfortable in that stance anymore. Cooper Marin says that first left hook against Jiri was like 6 inches. Incredible punching. Man, crazy. The right hand that he hit, because he hit them with the left hook, but the right hand that he hit him with, it looked like he was like going the other way, and he cracked him with it. It looked like when my daughters fight, and he cracked him, and the power man behind that was insane. Joseph says, if I'm Jamal Hill, I'd be pissed. And the thing is for Alex is, to me, either him or Cejudo's, like what he's achieved is incredible. Whatever happens thereafter, it won't matter. SG says Israel versus Alex will sell even if it's a 10th time, 100%. Brad Galea says Izzy would be silly not to take the light heavyweight shot and then go back down for double champ status. That's his ticket. Yeah. Ofon says, yeah, that type of stunning makes people wary and scared, right? Yeah, and you can't, like when you're watching something on the screen, right? This is why as well, it's easy to criticize judging. But when you're watching something on the screen, you don't understand sometimes how much of an impact that had on that person. The same way when you're watching that fight here and you're like, oh, that was early. No, that was an early stoppage. But was it an early stoppage? Like if you're the ref and you're right there and you see his body go limp twice, because Jiri kind of went limp twice. He went limp when he got dropped, and then he got hit, and when he rolled onto his back, he kind of like rolled onto his back like this. So the ref's got to call that, and he's got to call that in real time. And sometimes when you're judging, you see like a big telling shot, like to me, and I'm not even judging the fight, and I'm not even live. When I saw that right kick that hit him in the face, I could tell that was like one of the changing moments, because Jiri was no longer comfortable in the southpaw stance. And then you got to understand something. He's not comfortable in orthodox because he got calf kicked and hurt. Or he got really hurt. And now he's not comfortable in southpaw because of that kick that landed, So it's not that easy. Alex has had a massive amount of experience fighting strikers. This is the reality. So you can switch to southpaw orthodox. He's going to work you out. Kenny says, Alex really needs to work on his groundwork offense, man. He was just surviving when Jiri got on him. Man, I honestly think he did a really good job. Like he's not going to be he's not going to be throwing up triangles or anything like that. He's not going to do that. If you look at how well he did his bicep control and how well he stopped Jiri from landing the ground and pound, and watch some of the guys that Jiri has ground and pounded into like dust. He landed some good ground and pound. Even Glover himself, he landed some really good ground and pound. Alex did a great job of mitigating that and defending that. And the thing that Alex has in his back pocket is that you have to hold him down. If you do anything other than hold Alex down, Alex is going to get up. And then if he gets up, you're tired from taking him down and he's going to hurt you. So of course he needs to work on his groundwork. This is a given. Everyone does. But I think he cops a lot of shit for it. Like people have to hold him. You have to hold him. This is, and when you're holding him, you're not doing a lot of damage. You're not creating a lot of space. Even when Israel and him fought him and everyone was like, oh, Israel out-wrestled him. First of all, Israel's a big, strong dude that is the middleweight champion. He's not some dude that doesn't think. He's not a grappler for sure. No. But Israel had to hold him down and had to wrestle him, because if he didn't, Alex was going to get back up and it's going to be a problem. And even for a good striker, you'd rather have Alex on his back. SG says, Alex and Artem throw high kicks standing 1 foot away from their opponent. Yeah, it's really impressive, man. B. Johnson says, that's actually a really good observation. Which one, mate? SG says, Man, DC said it best. Most fighters with 5 fights in UFC would be on the prelims, and Alex has 2 belts. It's that's a fucking thing people don't get. Not only that, he fought 2 guys and then nothing but champions and former champions. He's got a KO win, right? He's got a KO win over the current champion, right? He's got at middleweight. He's got a KO win over the former champion. So the champion before that, he's got a KO loss to him as well. And then he went up for Blachowicz. Who's a former champion, and he beat him. Then he beat Jiri too and knocked Jiri out. Man, come on. B Johnson. Oh, okay. Yeah. B Johnson says never realized it, but yeah, he really didn't bother with Southpaw after that. Yeah, it's a hard thing, man, because you got to understand he's got a massive background of fighting guys that are southpaws or orthodox or switch hitters or whatever. And so when you do something, it's not like you've completely thrown him off and like, oh shit, what do I do? He knows what to do in those situations. There's not a lot of guys that know how to do those things. There are guys that the guys that are really good, in my opinion, in that kind of light heavyweight, middleweight division at changing those things like that are Israel. Hold on, I can hear my family screaming. Hold on one second. What is it, Loretta? I'll be down in a sec. my wife and my daughters are screaming. There's like a massive bug spider thing on the loose downstairs. This is Australia, my friends, and I will have to go down there to rescue my family. The guys, I have to go. My wife's going to leave me. Guys, thank you so much for the reaction. Please give me a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I have to go and kill these spiders, man, because it's going to get ugly in here. So take care, guys. Big hugs to you. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.